everybody, I'm Emily.
And this is Lynn.
And we're from Records Management Services. We're the ROT Squad for redundant, obsolete, and transitory records. And we help people clear out all sorts of messes around the university. If you have any questions during this training, you can email us at rotsquad@uw.edu. Otherwise, we're happy to get you deleting some transitory emails.
We created this training to be practical and easy to follow, and most importantly, give you the blocked off time in your schedule to actually delete some emails along with us. Today, we're going to focus on deleting transitory emails. These are emails which you do not need to keep once you've looked at them. We're not going to be organizing substantive emails today, but we do have a ton of great resources on our website all about that. Today, we're going to go through specific types of emails that you can delete. We're going to demonstrate how to find them, we're going to delete them in real time, and then we're going to give you time to delete along with us. So go ahead and open your email platform to get ready to do some live deleting.
Yes, we'll provide the directions separately, but I'll demonstrate, so that'll be good to see. And one thing to keep in mind, if your office is currently being affected by a public records request, audit, or litigation, you better check on that issue before you hit delete. We're not giving you permission to delete those records that might be responsive. If you're from UW Medicine, our office is not the one to advise you on clinical records. That said, you probably have a lot of other transitory emails we'll be deleting today, so we're still glad you're here, so let's get started. One question is, why is this important? As it turns out, there's a state statute that says that everything that you do while you're doing university business is considered a public record. This refers to all different devices and formats. So this could be contracts on your desk, it could be Post-it notes, it could be Zoom recordings, any kind of record. If you're doing university business, it's a university record and it needs to be managed. But the good news is, we're here to help. So with those records, you want to keep them for the appropriate amount of time. Safe from damage, you want your records to be accessible, and you want to be able to produce copies in the event of litigation, audit, or public records requests. And you want to dispose of records properly once the retention period has expired. Some have a much longer retention, and some have much shorter ones, like these transitory emails that we'll be working on today. If you don't manage your records, it can be detrimental to your work. You don't want to spend time looking for the information that you need to do your daily work. It can be expensive if there's public records requests and there's a delay trying to find information. And it can be embarrassing if you put all sorts of things in writing that are too casual, or it can be embarrassing to have a lot of extra records around that you don't need to keep. But like we say, we're here to help, and proper records management saves time and energy and money and patience and space, stops you from having whole file rooms filled with things that you don't need to retain, and servers being clogged up with things you never needed to keep in the first place. The good news is some records have very short retention. All the things that we'll talk about today are these transitory emails on the left-hand side. You don't need to keep any format of these types of materials. But if you have any emails that are drafts, copies, or just providing temporary information, you can get rid of those right away. For substantive records, you want to check out our General Records Retention Schedule on our website, and we'll have that link below. If you have lots of emails and you think that your computer might freeze, you can just check out our directions at your own pace, separately from this recording. You can listen now and delete later. But if you don't think your computer will freeze, use this blocked off time to delete along with us. So first, we're going to tell you what the email type is. We're going to demonstrate it ourselves, and then we'll give you the time to actually delete during this presentation. So let's get to work. First, we're going to turn on our conversation view. I'll show you where that is in our email box. It's right up here on top that says Show as Conversations. You want to click that box. It makes it easier to see related emails. It makes it easier to parse and handle all the different conversations. Go ahead and click that now. Before we get started on our first search item, take a moment to make sure that you are searching your inbox or the specific folder you want to clean out. This will prevent you from accidentally searching in deleted emails. In Outlook, check the drop-down arrow to the right of the search box at the top of your screen. See right here. Our first item is listservs and newsletters, such as UW Today and UW Insider. Once you read it, it's just for your reference. You can go ahead and delete it. Of course, the only exception is the Records Management Services newsletter, which is pure gold. So we're going to search unsubscribe, and then we found that you can find them all in one search.
Emily is going to demonstrate how to search. Currently, we're doing our demonstration in Outlook for desktop. However, the same search term will work in any platform because at the moment we're just searching on one keyword, unsubscribe. Also, it's worth noting, many of you may work with vendors whose email stationery, so to speak, contains the words unsubscribe at the bottom. However, if you think that you have some substantive email relating to them, such as financial transactions, you can type unsubscribe, the word not in capital letters, NOT, and then your vendor name. So for example, unsubscribe, not AT&T.
Yeah, that's a great point. I searched unsubscribe, I got all these different newsletters, and then I put not of our database vendor, Zazio, to leave them out of it. In case they have something more substantive in their communications, you can exclude them. Then you can do Control A, which selects them all, and right-click delete. There, we got those newsletters out of the way.
And if you're working in Outlook Online, in O365, in order to select all of your results, you are going to click at the very top of your result list, scroll down until you reach the bottom, hold down the Shift key on your keyboard while you scroll, click once on the last message in your list, and that's how you select all your results. Then you can just hit your Delete key on your keyboard or right-click to delete those emails. In Gmail, as you know, you can just click the checkbox to the upper left of the search result emails, and you'll be able to select those page by page.
Now we'll give you a few moments to go ahead and delete those newsletters yourself. An example of this is data that's kept in a university-wide system. Any kind of ping that you get that says something changed status, that's not something that you need to keep. It's just letting you know something happened, and once you've received the message, that's it. You don't need to retain that information. Depending on which system or website this is coming from, sometimes people find these not as useful as other times. Sometimes you can just turn them off. Like I find notifications of starting Zoom meetings, it's helpful because it lets me know that someone joined my meeting. I'm ready to go talk to them. But Lynn, you don't think that's very useful, do you?
So transitory emails are exactly that. They're transitory. They just have a little bit of use depending on the content. In my workflow, knowing that someone has joined my meeting, getting that little email notification from Zoom doesn't really help me. So I was able to turn those off at the source. That's something as most university users of Zoom, we can kind of control that setting. There are other things, however, that you may not be able to turn off at the source, so to speak. An example might be Workday notifications. So let's say it's great to know that your boss has approved your leave request, but the actual approval for that request is saved in Workday itself with its substantive retention. That's already set up. So that notification email you get is just a quick ping from the system. You don't need to keep it. Another thing to keep in mind, if you often work with a database that sends you a lot of notifications, they can really fill up your inbox quickly. You can always create a rule or filter to automatically move those to their own folder where you can deal with them later. That can be a real sanity saver if you're dealing with a lot of these systems. We have instructions on our website on how to set up rules in Outlook, and we will link to those in the materials accompanying this recording.
Good point. Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to go through and demonstrate some of these, but it's worth thinking about, kind of like Lynn just mentioned, what you have in your own office. Maybe there's some that aren't as useful to you and you can just turn them off. But either way, it's that database or whatever system has the official copy of that information that needs to be retained, not the email. And the ping isn't something that you need to keep. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate some here. Our first one is those Zoom emails. So again, if you receive something from a system, it's worth thinking about what's the email address that it comes from. If you just search for Workday, you might get people talking about Workday and substantive emails. So you want to search for that email address. If you're going to go to the meeting anyway, you don't have to have that ping. But we got these. We can push Control-A and delete those. I know that we have a request tracker system in our office, and I know that the subject heading has a certain acronym in it. And if you have something similar in your office that you know the subject heading for whatever that is, that could be a good way to search. So I'll go ahead and search for that. So again, these are kept in that system, no reason to keep the email. So we got all those. It's just letting you know something happened. It's not the only copy of that information. It's just letting you know status has changed or something. Those can all go. And again, the system has the main copy. UW Alert is another good one. So again, searching for the email that comes from. So those we can delete. It's good to know that the Mountain Lake Bridge is stuck, but once you know you've made different plans, you don't have to keep that alert. So we'll go ahead and give you a few minutes to delete those automatic notifications yourself. If you think of any others that might be good for us to include in future presentations, you could write us and let us know what those databases might be, but go ahead and delete those. Out of the way. Our next last one is meeting acknowledgments. Similarly, your calendar has a retention, right? It's 1 year past the end of the calendar year, Lynn?
That's exactly right. This is one of our shorter retentions, but that's because calendars, largely speaking, are more of a way of monitoring work in progress. So all of our calendars here at the University of Washington have a retention of 1 year after the end of the calendar year. However, all of the back and forth, little meeting notifications and arranging of meetings, can you make it at 2? No, I can't. Let's do 3. All of that is transitory. So we know that in Outlook, you can get a lot of these, and it can also really clutter up your sent mail folder, which is something that's really easy to forget. So there's a simple way to clear these out wholesale. And if you want to, this is the type of notification that you can turn off the source like we talked about before. If you're the meeting organizer, you can choose not to receive these. That said, I think most users do like these and like to have them for arranging meetings. So Emily, why don't you go ahead and show us the term that you can search on in Outlook for Desktop?
To find those meeting acknowledgments, there are a couple different ways. We have a little code that we found that's helpful, and I'll put that in the search bar right now.
So it's worth noting that this little code that Emily is typing in, IPM period schedule period meeting, only works in Outlook for Desktop. In the materials accompanying this training, we will include instructions on how to find similar meeting items in Gmail and O365. Emily, would you demonstrate how to sort these emails by type?
Exactly. So if you want to review that way, we found another way that you can do it. Go back to the messages. Use this little caret here to put them by type. See, it's got meeting cancellations, it's got some meeting requests, meeting declined. That's all here, and it's got the messages on top, so you can select them this way. It's easier to go on ahead and delete those. And then also, you want to pay attention to your sent items. Every time you set up a meeting, it sends it for you, Lynn just said, in Outlook for the desktop, and you have to delete it from there too. And we'll give you a few minutes to go on ahead and delete those meeting announcements. Meeting emails. Our next one is going to be drafts. Draft emails can be deleted just like draft documents. We never need to retain drafts, only final versions of documents. So in this case, you can also get rid of the emails. If you don't have any of these, you can take this opportunity to delete your junk and clutter folders. We've seen a lot of big clutter folders, haven't we?
Yes, we have. These really pile up. I would definitely say the clutter function in Outlook is optional. So if, like me, you might feel like you're concerned about missing important messages, you can always just turn it off. Or another option is put a little reminder in your calendar to periodically take a quick spin through your clutter and junk folders and then delete the whole folder. The same can be said for periodically going through and emptying your deleted folder, which we'll talk about later.
That's a good point. And it could be a case if you're getting some sort of spam, maybe you can unsubscribe from certain things in a way to help clear that out. But the drafts will go ahead and show that right now. If you have draft emails, let's say you're writing to somebody about a project and they phone you right then, or you start writing it and then you realize, hey, they're actually in the building. I can just go talk to that person. The drafts can add up over time, and there's no reason to keep them. You can sort them by date in case you want to keep the ones from that day with this little caret here. But we're just going to go ahead and delete these drafts. Okay, go ahead and delete them. There's no reason to keep them. As far as your documents go, sometimes they can clog up your email box too. To cut down on version confusion, what we do in our office when we're working collaboratively on a single document is to say where it's saved so our colleagues can go work directly on the document itself.
Emily's right. It can be a big time saver and sanity saver to just have one version in one place, especially now that we have SharePoint and OneDrive and other collaborative working spaces available to us. Having a final version makes it a lot easier to manage once documents have met their retention as well. So you can search for the word draft in your email, and you can look at maybe your oldest items and see what you can delete.
We'll give you some time to delete those draft emails. And then, if you don't have any, you could take this opportunity to delete your junk and or your clutter folders. Some of those unnecessary draft emails out of the way. Our next one is going to be friendly emails. We all know that you should be using your university email to do university business. And we know if you take the ethics training from internal audit that they say that de minimis use is all right. If you're using your account to say, oh, I'm running late, or your coworker wants to send you a nice cake recipe, that's all right. But there's no reason why you need to hold on to that. It doesn't have any legal retention. If you have more questions about de minimis use of UW resources, Internal Audit has a great online ethics training on their website. We'll provide that link in the materials accompanying this training. But we know that you don't need to keep them, so that's our focus here today. Whether it's your afternoon shopping list or brunch plans. But in this case, let's just say it's your colleague who's sending you dog photos. You don't want them to stop, but you don't need to have it be in the way. So go ahead and demonstrate. You can maybe search for your spouse's name or your work friend's name or their email address. You could search for phrases like this weekend, tonight, or after work. We'll go ahead and show, in this case, I'm going to search for Lynn's email address, who's obviously very friendly, and we'll see that there's a focaccia recipe. There's an email about a job posting. There's an email about a Mariners game. Not necessarily inappropriate, but certainly doesn't have a longer legal retention. Below that, she also does write about work. So sometimes, in this case, the person writes about more substantive work issues, as well as those friendly things. But the top few here, you can delete. You might have a work friend who only writes cake recipes and sends dog photos. In that case, you could push Control A.
One more thing to remember is your sent folder. It's really easy to forget that we still need to manage the emails that we're generating, as well as the emails that are coming into our inbox.
Exactly. So we'll give you a few moments to go ahead and delete those friendly emails yourself. So good to have those cleared out of there. Already bought that spinach from the grocery store? You don't need the email asking you to do it, right? We got that. No reason to retain. So now we're going to look at how much we deleted. The thing is that you're going to have to empty your deleted folder.
That's right. The way that we're set up here at UW, you need to push delete on the email itself, and then you need to empty your deleted items folder periodically. The easiest way to do it is to right-click on it and select delete.
You shouldn't use your deleted items like it's a filing cabinet. If someone makes a public records request for your emails and you have thousands of emails in your deleted items, you still have to produce those. You still have to search your deleted items folder for responsive emails. So just because you had the intention to delete doesn't mean they're actually deleted and gone. And if you want to delete, you might as well follow through. Finish the process here. So empty the folder. If you had a lot of success with this, you can email us and let us know the number that you've deleted. We've seen people delete 80,000, 50,000, 10,000 emails. So if you're really proud, you can let us know and we'll be very happy for you. So empty the deleted folder there permanently. And that's great. Clear that out. There's no reason to keep it around. Well done on that. We want you to keep going for the future. You want to think about your deleted items maybe periodically to make sure things don't accumulate in there, and empty it at least monthly or quarterly. A good thing to think about is maybe having more order going forward, right? So there's much that people can do with rules in Outlook or filters in Gmail. There's all kinds of types of rules. People can take notifications and put them into different folders from certain senders. Lynn, don't you have one where you make one of those for your boss a different color?
I absolutely do. I have rules set up in Outlook so that if I need to, for example, get a notification like we're talking about from Workday that I need to approve a student's timesheet, I have Outlook make it bright red so that I can't miss it. Another great example is you can kind of tone down your desktop notifications so that you only get a pop-up window when you get an email from certain senders. There are a lot of things that you can do with rules or filters in Gmail to kind of streamline your general workday. One more tip I'll leave you with is maybe you should set up a to-read folder. And all those newsletters and interesting listservs that you do want to read, set up a filter or a rule to sort them into that folder, and then you can read them on your own time rather than the moment they show up in your inbox demanding your attention in the middle of your workday.
Yeah, I think we find the way that people get their email out of control is when it becomes distracting. It's hard for them to follow because everything is mixed in together. Their important to-dos are mixed in with alerts that are less important for them to know. And it's finding that way to categorize your incoming information streams and prioritize them makes things easier, not only to prevent a future mess, but also to do your regular job. You don't need everything mixed in together. So if you feel like you need some help, you can contact us at rotsquad@uw.edu and we can advise on your specific situation. But there's so much rules can do, and it's important to put the computer to work rather than yourself. You know, you're not hired to be a professional email manager, right? You were hired to do your actual job.
That's right. And I'll just put in one more word to say, we've got a lot of resources on our website, and we, the Rot Squad, love doing live consultations on this with small groups, large groups, even one-on-one. If your email is overwhelming to you, we can help. And we've got a lot of resources that you can explore.
For sure. So here's our contact information. We help people all over the university, all 3 campuses, free service. Like Lynn just said, you can share the screen, we can help you out. We hope this has been useful, and we hope that you were able to delete lots of email.
Thanks for spending time with us. We'll see you next time.